Hey everyone, Kate Boren, Fiona Pearman, joining you for this week's Facebook Live, where we're going to talk a little bit more about becoming your own best coach. And we've talked already a little bit around the importance of this. We'll pop the link to that video in the chat feed here. But I think, in an ideal world, it'd be fabulous if we all had, coaches that we could pay to work with every week. The reality is for most of us, that's not a sustainable solution. And so our ability to be able to do this for ourselves, to be able to develop and expand our self-awareness, so that we are able to self-regulate, that we are able to notice and be aware of what's going on for us in our inner world, and then create space and time to be able to process that, so that we can protect our life, people we love, things that are important to us from the consequences of our reactions. It is human to be disappointed, to be upset, to be angry when things don't go the way we want. What's important is that we're able to process that and then be able to respond from a place of conscious choice rather than be reactive and then have to clean up some of the mess after.
Yeah, I think we really underestimate this. The more we dig into this and the more we start to build the capacity for self-regulation, I often say, self-regulation is a superpower. The more that we can become conscious and aware of what we need in order to be able to regulate ourselves in those moments, which will inevitably happen. We're always going to be tested. There's going to be pressure. There's going to be demands. There's going to be things that are happening. And if you know that those things are the kind of things that trigger you into not showing up as your best self, they're great places to start to get curious and to really dig into. And this is where the self-coaching comes in. And, we always say here, the first piece is to give yourself some space. Create some space, create some time. The value of reflection here. The more we understand, the more clarity we can have around what's going on for us, why we feel so triggered, why we feel so angry or so reactive in that moment. As we unpack that, as we see that more clearly, and sometimes there's lots of different ways to do this. There are various resources. Kate and I share a lot of work around this. There's journaling. Just even taking the space and time to write down some of the things that we notice happen for us in those moments when we're very heightened, when we are reactive. They start to be the clues that we can unpack and we can use to investigate what's happening for us.
Yeah, another great one is when I walk in the morning, I don't listen to podcasts and I don't listen to music. Likewise, sometimes when I'm driving on long drives, I'll actually turn the radio off. And that is to create space to be able to be just with my own thoughts. I think the second thing is to ask yourself good questions. Your ability to start to either out loud or in just to yourself, asking yourself good questions allows you the clarity, allows you to connect in and see what's important to you. It allows you to communicate with your unconscious, to start to identify maybe what is going on. I'm curious what that's about. I think the important layer here is to do it from a place of curiosity, not a place of judgment. Because our ability just to be curious and to get beneath the layers is where the gold is.
And I think we really want to dig deep. We want to understand and start to question, what is working well in my life? Where are there places I can improve? What would be different if I did this, or if I asked that, or if I questioned this, either of myself or others? The more that we can ask those good questions and the more we can start to explore what it is that serves us and works well, it helps us in certain situations, and potentially what's not. The more clarity we have around that, the easier it is. And I think, Kate, we talk a lot about this is not a one and done. You won't listen to this video and then go off and you'll be able to perfectly coach yourself. It is becoming a good coach takes time. It's a dedicated practice. It's being willing to show up, to give yourself the space and time, and to do that regularly, and to focus on just that, being willing to practice and not get it perfect. It's a capability that we build over time. And as we've become coaches, but we've dedicated years, decades really, to being able to do that well. And it's an ongoing, still an iterative process now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's lovely about our work is when we get to see our clients, further down their navigating their life, after they've worked with us, where we can see and they share circumstances where they are being their own best coach, where they recognise that historically maybe I may have been quite reactive. I may have made a choice that would have had significant and permanent consequences in my life, personally and professionally. But actually, I was able to pause and I was able to recognize what was going on. I was able to recognize some of those old default behaviors and ask myself some really good questions. And because I've done that, able to then show up in dynamics, vulnerably to share what's going on, not necessarily with the answers. The answers are not always going to come immediately. And so I think that, again, the key there is to not get frustrated with that and not get frustrated with yourself, to be able to give yourself time and space, again, to be really present to what's going on and to allow the process to unfold. And we're going to leave it there. If you've got questions, comments, or know someone who would benefit from today's confidence conversation, we'd love for you to hear from you below, and of course for you to share that with those stakeholders. Head over to our Facebook page, hit like, lots of great videos. You'll be notified when we go live. And of course, we'd encourage you to dig in there. And of course, if and when you're ready to go deeper with your relation with Core Confidence, we'd love to hear from you. Visit our website, coreconfidence.com.au.